So here I am in the Explain Our Golf studio in Milton Keynes, an hour north of London, and this little series of instruction we're going to call the plain truth. Now, those of you familiar with these pieces of instruction, I spend my life trying to keep golf simple. Rather than giving you 1,000 pieces of a jigsaw puzzle in a polythene bag, I'm trying to sell you a lid with the overview. Now, what I've discovered is that some people are blinded by the simplicity of an overview, and they need the golf swing to be 100 pieces glued together. That's the way the Faldo brain might work, or a David Ledbetter brain. They're left-brainers, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way their minds work. I tend not to work that way. My brain tends to see the overview or the picture. So some golf pros will sell you 100 pieces in a bag. Good luck. People who have lessons off me, hopefully I'm getting to think about the shot and thinking about the way the ball behaves, not much about the way that they behave. You know my premise is that if I teach you the shot, from good preparation, the swing's for free. But let's just go off the beaten track for a little while in Luther terms, and let's go to a slightly more complex, in-depth analysis of the golf swing. It can be valuable. I just need you to promise me that whatever I give you the next 3 or 4 minutes, you just enjoy, understand, but shelve. It doesn't really matter to you on the golf course. However, when you're practicing or thinking about the game, a bit of background information. So one of the phrases is about the swing plane. What is the swing plane? Okay. Some people talk about the plane of the shoulder movement, the plane of the hips, plane of the legs, the plane of the shaft, the plane of the club, the plane during the swing, at impact and beyond. There are myriad confusing choices in the phrase swing plane. Now, Ben Hogan in 1957 gave us the book Modern Fundamentals of Golf, and the most famous drawing ever is of him standing there with a sheet of glass resting on the ball target line and a hold for his head, so that the big sheet of glass rested on his shoulders. The idea being that the golf swing would work around that. And it was a good overview, good simple picture. But let's just start afresh. Let's just talk about the swing plane at its most straightforward level. I've got a fence post here, or a stake, and I've got a mallet. So the idea is to strike the stake with the mallet in a downward blow. Now, I think you can see, if I've got 50 miles an hour of potential in the hammer head, and my hammer does this and misses, it's absolutely useless. If I were to give it a glancing blow at, say, 45 degrees, it would be glancing and deflected. What I can show you is the blow in plane is the most powerful and the most accurate. Okay? Now, when I do that, I can do it across, glancing. I can be glancing this way, or ideally I want to be down the line of the post. That's a blow in plane. That's a very simple concept. It's made complex by the fact that I've got 360 degrees of choice as to the angle of my plane. 360 degrees. Doesn't matter what angle it is, the fact of the matter is the optimum blow will always be the same, be it north, east, south or west. The fact remains that the most direct blow is the one that's in plane. A glancing blow is less effective. Now, many of us hit the golf ball with a face that is either open or closed. In other words, I've got a hammer with a chamfer on it. Can you see I've cut some timber off this side of the mallet? Now, if I try and use this, I've got a problem, because when I hit the stake, it's a deflected blow. It takes me away from the plane, or compensating to try and keep this angled face in plane is difficult, unorthodox. I'd rather be like Jim Furyk, who has a very complex mechanism going back, but boy, when it comes to it, Jim knows where the plane is. It seems amazing to me that only 11 or 12 times that someone shot sub 60 in an American-US tournament. One Jim Furyk has done it twice. Quite remarkable. So that begs the question, is the swing that important? Answer, no. What is important is the function. So if you're hitting hammers with a stake, then the blow, the most accurate blow, is the most powerful. I need you to remember that, because it's going to be with you right through these pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the stake on the ground, and I'm going to just point it a little bit right of the white line. In other words, my swing's going to go at 1 o'clock. So I could have a very flat swing plane. a neutral swing plane or an upright swing plane. The fact of the matter is, it's the blow down the stake that matters. So I set myself up, I load, and then when I come in, I'm striking the post and I'm going down there. That's a blow in plane. That's a glancing blow to the left, glancing blow to the right, glancing blow on the up, glancing blow on the down. The fact of the matter is, I want to extend a strike and go down that post for as long as I can. So in the next piece, I'm going to show you that not only is the blow in plane important, it's how long that blow lasts in the plane that really pays dividends.